Dear Jordan and Josh, I think I ruined my life. I did the good Christian homeschooled girl thing and got married to what I thought was my one and only. He is a great guy, but our marriage has been a disaster from the start, and I had a gut feeling 3 weeks in that I made a mistake. Fast forward, we've been married almost 4 years, and I developed some feelings for a fellow tutor at my university. I ignored these feelings, but over the last year, we became really close friends, and everything blew up when he admitted feelings for me as well. Things almost went too far, but we broke it off and agreed we needed to give each other space because the attraction was too strong and we could no longer ignore it. My husband is aware of the situation and is determined to win me back, even though we agree I probably was never in love with him in the first place and our marriage was too rushed. We are signed up for counseling, but I am worried that if we stay together, I will forever be trying to avoid affairs because I am not/never have been in love with him. Is the relationship worth saving? An 8+ year fan who made bad choices but loves your show.
All right, she's asking for mercy with that signature there at the end.
Yeah.
We're about to get Jordan's messages, Jordan, here for a second, I think.
If both parties are like, this isn't working. This isn't going to work.
Uh-huh.
Also, we have no children. And
call it a mulligan.
just say, let's just act like this never.
There weren't that many people there.
How many people were really invited to the wedding?
Yeah, no one will even notice.
Look, I don't know. All I can say is find a way to find that the man was committing adultery in his heart. And even in his heart. And then you can break it off. It's so simple.
Is there any chance he watches porn?
Is there any It's adultery.
It's over.
No, I don't know.
He could say the same thing to her, I guess.
Yeah, they could both mutually say, hey, we'll say this about each other, and then we'll break it off.
I mean, that's, I guess, a joke, but I suppose it's true. At the point where she's like,
right.
I like this tutor. I lusted after him. He could say, it's over.
This is how backwards you can get this to really make yourself be able to do anything. If you truly believe, the Bible, and it says, and I think this is what it says, you can only get divorced if the person has committed adultery. Okay, so then the girl is like, no, this is terrible advice. But the girl could be like, okay, so all I have to do is commit adultery.
Done.
And then I can legally get out of this from God. Hey, I committed adultery, so I'm leaving.
Whoopsie-doopsies.
So sorry. Now, this is a horrible thing. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying to do that. That's horrible. But I'm just saying that this is how backwards people can think.
Yeah. No, that is true. That is true.
So if you can
the good Christian girl who rushed the marriage
is thinking of this.
She could also rush right out of there in a day. It would be out and done.
What is your thoughts, Josh? This is a confusing one.
This girl is making two explicit and implicit points in her message.
Implicit.
Okay. Number one, she's assuming that she made a mistake getting married. Number two, she's assuming she would be happier with this other guy. If one or both of those things are incorrect, how does that change the equation for you? She's wanting to blame, like, oh, I was a good Christian girl. I rushed into marriage. Okay, well, obviously, the good Christian life didn't drag you kicking and screaming down the altar. You wanted to get married. I tend to think that this is the kind of person, and I appreciate that you watch our show and that you've watched for so many years. Thank you. I think that there's a chance you might be the kind of person who is not going to be happy regardless of your situation. So I think that if you were to divorce this guy and go with this tutor guy or go somewhere else, I think that you would end up realizing that was a mistake too.
All of this whole problem seems very carnal. I think that people can marry somebody and then think, oh, wow, was this the right decision? And then both people can be like, well, yeah, we got married young. Did we really know what we were doing? Mm-hmm. Should we stay together? I'm trying to give this girl the benefit of the doubt.
Oh.
What if both the husband and the wife are like, we probably shouldn't have gotten married?
Yeah.
And not just like the wife is like, oh, I don't actually never loved you, so I want to get divorced. This guy kind of seems like, from what she's describing, kind of seems like he's kind of the same way. Mm-hmm. in some sense. So if that's the case, what happens in that special instance? Right. That's the question. What happens?
Life is, it's all very nuanced.
It
you know?
is, but maybe it's not. Maybe if you got married, maybe you stick it out. Maybe that's how it is.
It's like on a case-by-case basis, you want to say, I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, that is. But on the whole, I think there is something to be said for the institution and that it's a lifetime guarantee. You know? And you don't just, I say I do unless I change my mind in a few years or in 3 weeks. I don't know. It's like that. Then what's the point? Like, why am I buying you a gift? Why am I getting dressed up on a Sunday to come watch you? Hopefully this works. That's not like that. That's not even nearly. So it's like, not to say you have to be the sacrificial lamb to preserve the institution. I'm just saying that I think that this attitude has become pervasive. Life's not about your happiness, but it does make it a little bit more nuanced. I feel like, since you don't have kids, so it's like, all right, well, there's no seed there. So I see kind of what you're saying too. It's like,
naturally, your instinct is that is an exception if they don't have children. If they had children, you would say, yeah, stay together.
Right.
But if they don't, you and maybe it's wrong, but your brain says, if both people are like, I don't know if we should keep doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably completely not Christian at all to say that. But that instinctively, that is how you react.
She has lusted after the tutor.
So he can get a divorce.
The one thing I know for sure about this message, the one thing I can say very clearly is that I don't think you're going to be happy with the tutor.
Yeah, that's true. Now we're kind of taking your question and making a bigger thought out of it. It's like, but what if?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I get it's like, I got married young. I didn't know what I was doing. It's like, yeah, that's the fun of it. You're supposed to grow up together. You're supposed to all kind of.
But they're growing apart.
Well, you're going to grow apart with anybody.
That's true.
Okay, see, I mean, if that's the dude, at some point you were close enough to somebody to say, I'm going to make a lifetime commitment to you. Oh, you know what? Actually,
it was because I was homeschooled Christian.
It was because I rushed him because I'm a homeschool Christian.
Yeah.
Whatever. No. Look, sure, okay, maybe you had additional pressure, but again, you weren't dragged down. It's not like your parents shoved you down the aisle. I mean, I'm sure you can find some TLC special somewhere that someone does that somewhere, but you know, come on.
Well, I hope that answered your question.